A few years ago, this site was a furniture factory, part of an industry that employed thousands of people here in Lenoir, a small town in western North Carolina. Today, that factory is gone, replaced by a community garden that supplies fresh fruits and vegetables to Lenoir's increasingly busy food banks.
That's a big problem for us. This was a particularly rough site, but we're reinventing ourselves, and this is part of the new Lenoir. Furniture is always going to be very important to our economy, but this will be part of the new economy, and we're very proud of it.
It's a good example of what's happened here in Lenoir and in manufacturing towns across this state. Some 7,000 people once worked in Lenoir's furniture and textile factories. Today, less than 1,000 of those jobs remain. The official unemployment rate here is 12%. That's 4 points higher than the state average, but local officials say the actual rate is closer to 20%.
Manufacturing has moved overseas, all of it. There is very, very little manufacturing that's still done in this country in the furniture industries.
Lily Bunch runs the Helping Hands Clinic, which provides free medical care to more than 2,200 uninsured people.
That's all right. There's plenty in there, I promise.
The clinic treats everything from diabetes to depression and dispensed more than $6 million worth of free medical care last year.
For the most part, you're someone who's never needed help before. You've had a good job in the furniture factory for a long time. You're 55 years old.
21 and a half years. I thought I was going to retire from there.
One of the patients here is 53-year-old Bronda Jones, who worked for years in a company that manufactured parts for forklifts. She was laid off in 2004, and it wasn't until 2009 that she found her current part-time job at the local community college bookstore. But she receives no benefits, so she turns to Helping Hands for medical care.
I'd never had to ask for help before. I hated, when you've always provided for yourself, you really hate to ask for help because you think there's some way you can work it out for yourself.
Workers who are in their 40s or 50s or 60s and lost their manufacturing job, most of those workers end up in other kinds of lower paying service jobs, and probably that's where they're going to remain.
The town has used economic incentives to lure some new employers, including a data center run by Google. But local officials admit none of them will be able to replace the big furniture mills.
Will it be like it ever was, to where furniture was king and unemployment was down 2 to 3%? I think it'd be naive to think that it'll get back to that, but we are going to accomplish it through different types of industries, revamped types of industries, and you'll see what I envision are maybe more employers coming in that employ 25 to 50 employees rather than the mega employer that's coming in employing thousands.
North Carolina is a swing state, and both presidential campaigns are spending heavily here. But among voters here in Lenoir, there's simply not much interest in the campaign.
But I still feel like Washington is so far out of touch with the everyday working person, because most of those, if not all of those people, they've never had to live on a salary like most of us have, Most of them have never been poor or had to struggle, and so I really don't think they can understand. If you've never lived it, you really can't understand it.